Crucial video for you guys today. I recently got an email from a member, and I just hate getting these kind of emails. And it's because they're just really, really heartbreaking. They just are really a bummer to hear. So what happened was this producer had seen my recent video about going with small boutique libraries, how I still think that they are the better way to go, especially for new coming producers into this business, because you can likely have a better chance of having a more personal, direct relationship with those kind of companies. This producer, though, has been working with, I think, 6 different boutique, smaller companies, and he's basically sent them over the course of 2 years over like 150 tracks and pretty much 0 placements, a couple $100 here and there from little things, but really like nothing. And he just reached out to me to say, I just disagree with you. I don't think that the boutique way is the way to go. These companies just aren't delivering for me. So I think I have better chances of going with a bigger company. So, I replied, I said, I'm really sorry to hear that. Why don't you send me some of your music? I want to kind of check out what's going on there, because there's 2 things that can be happening. One is either maybe you're not communicating as much as you possibly can, like to say, hey, can I be included on some of your upcoming opportunities? But also maybe your music isn't exactly up to their standards. Maybe your music could be improved upon. So even though they're accepting your tracks just aren't shining like the rest of the tracks in that genre within the catalog that you're submitting to, right? So he sends me a link to many different tracks he's produced. And within a couple of seconds, as I'm just not even listening to the music yet, just looking at the genres that he's putting together, I could see immediately what the issue was. So this is why it's so crucial for you guys to be aware of this topic. A few months ago, I released a video about this, and I'll put it in the description box below. You should definitely watch it after I explain this. But the importance of selecting your genre that you're going to jump into this business is it's basically step 1, right? And it's pretty much why it's one of the first videos I put in Sync Academy when you're getting started on the platform, because you need to put some thought into the fact that you're going to be putting a lot of hours into your work, right? You're going to be putting hundreds, maybe thousands of hours sitting alone in your home studio cranking out music. So it does make sense, I think, to really think about that in terms of what style of music do I love that I could see myself committing to, for hundreds or thousands of hours, but also can be licensable and really useful for this business. So this producer's genre that he was producing, that I feel is not exactly entirely highly licensable, was sort of relaxed, chill EDM music. So different versions of it, but basically kind of slow tempo, mellow, beautiful music though. Like, I'm personally a fan of that kind of music. I love chill step. I love all that. But I told him this. I said, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but go turn on your TV or go turn on a streaming service, and you tell me what you're hearing on those shows. Do you hear any chill, relaxed, ambient EDM music? Once in a blue moon, once every so often you might hear it, but are you going to hear it on different types of content? Like, will you hear it with sports programs? Will you hear it on commercials? Will you hear it in reality shows? Are you going to hear it in multiple different types of content? No, that's simply not going to be a type of music that you're going to hear all over the place. So sadly, this producer is now facing a situation where, and we talked further about it, and he basically said it was a genre that he felt he had an affinity for, and he felt like it was just something that was really true for him, and he couldn't see himself going in any other direction at the time. He really wanted to just stick with this. And I'm conflicted on when I hear that kind of stuff, because part of me wants to say good for you. Don't compromise your integrity. If it feels right for you, go for it. But on the other side is a part of me that says, but you're trying to get into sync licensing, and so you do need to sort of find a middle path that combines your love, whatever you love producing, with where the market is, with what is actually in demand. And if you can find something in the middle there, you can really do well. Now, this producer, he said that he's discovered recently sort of that middle ground for himself. There's a new direction he's going to kind of go in that he feels will actually be more profitable. And I said, good for you, go for it. I really am glad that you're not throwing in the towel, because a lot of producers, a couple years into this business, realizing that they were going in a direction that's not going to provide a lot of placements for them, might say the hell with this, right, and just be gone. Maybe some of you guys are there, or you would be there if you found yourself there. So I want to really quickly just go over the genres that I feel are the most licensable, the most in demand, and they'll have the highest chances of getting multiple placements by multiple clients within a catalog with any library that you work with, okay? So, and these are the ones that I cover with Sync Edge and Sync Academy. This is why I've limited the amount and the type. Some of you guys have commented and said, "Hey, how come you don't talk about R&B and what about Christian music and what about this? What about that?" The reason why I don't talk about a few genres out there is not because I don't like those genres or I'm not a fan of them. It's because go watch TV. You will not find a high demand for those genres. So you do need to find a place where you can get a lot of placements with the amount of work that you're putting into your music, right? So here are the top genres that I feel get the most amount of placements. And within each one of these, there's obviously a bunch of different subgenres, but these are sort of the big umbrella ones. And with all of these, what I want you to know is that you want to stay generally in the mid to high tempo range of them. So you want to create stuff that's a little bit more high energy. It can be tense, can be dark, but also can be uplifting and bright and happy. But again, don't take my word for this. Go do your own research, go watch TV, go watch movies, go see what you're hearing, and you'll find that probably 70 to 80% of the placements out there are mid-tempo, up-tempo tracks. You're not going to hear a lot of ballads. You're not going to hear a lot of slow music. You're not going to hear a lot of, romantic, kind of music. I mean, there's going to be some, of course, but just go do your own research. Don't take my word for it. And then when you see and hear the kind of music that's out there, then you'll hopefully agree with me here that these are the directions you probably want to go in, okay? So here's the genres. Rock, many different types of rock, of course. Pop, I would say if you're going to go in pop, you want to go for something that's only been popular within the last couple of years. Don't go for 10 years old. Don't go for 20 years old. There's some need for retro music, throwback music, but it's very small, it's very niche, and I wouldn't get your foot started in this business going into a retro mode. I would go into music that's been charting and been popular in the last couple of years. That's definitely the smart way to go. EDM. Now, of course, EDM is a big umbrella blanket, but we don't want to go for slow, chill, relaxed, ambient EDM. It's probably not going to be there. High energy, high up-tempo, celebration, party, energy, that kind of thing. That's really great where you want to go with your EDM music, okay? Hip-hop or trap, of course, all over the place with that. Many different places you can go. Orchestral and trailer, you guys know that there's a lot of placements with those types of music. Corporate music, some of you guys are unfamiliar with what corporate means. When I talk about corporate music, what I really mean, it can be many different genres, because there could be like rock corporate, pop corporate, hip hop corporate, EDM corporate even. But generally what corporate means is that it's very clean, it's very pleasing to the ear. Usually it's up-tempo, uplifting rather, optimistic. It feels good. It's sometimes it's about technology, about moving forward. So there's basically this kind of really clean, pleasing sound to it, okay? So you're not going to find dark, tense corporate music. It's just not going to be there. So you basically want to keep your music moving in that more brighter, optimistic place with corporate music. You can get a lot of ads and commercial placements with that, okay? Folk music. So folk music can include some country. Obviously, it can include bluegrass. It can include a bunch of different, genres under the folk umbrella. They can do really well. And last is Latin music. So world music can be in there, where you get like some Middle Eastern placements and maybe some African placements. But again, not tons of stuff you're going to find. You're going to find, you can get little dabbles of little placements here and there. But if you're going to specialize in just Latin music, meaning, again, up-tempo, high energy, with vocals, without vocals, doesn't matter. There's a whole world for Latin placements that I've definitely seen. I have friends that are actually in that world doing really, really well. Okay, so if you stay within one of those genres, then you won't find yourself in that position a couple of years into this business where you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? This is not going, why was I making all this polka music? Polka is not even in demand. Why was I thinking, right? You got to really just sort of think about this stuff in an intelligent way, that we are not just here to please ourselves and to make sure that we are really happy with our music. Of course, that's a very, very important thing, and I don't want to dismiss that. But if you're not thinking about the end user here, you're not thinking about what a library needs, what their clients are looking for, you could find yourself in that position too a couple years down the road. So the link in the description box below is to a tutorial that I've released here on YouTube. It's a Sync Academy tutorial, but it was one of the few that I decided to release publicly because because of the topic of this video, it's too important for me to keep it behind the sort of paywall. Like, you guys all, no matter where you are, need to know how important this issue is, especially when you're just getting started and starting to dive into this world. You really need to put some thought behind what genre you're going to produce. So that tutorial in the description box will give you some insights and just some guidelines for you to make that choice. Don't ask me to make that choice for you. I never will. I'll never tell people which direction to go in. I obviously give some instructions and some suggestions to members here and there, especially with our new pro feedback service. I've been doing some of that. but I'll never tell you what you should be doing. You really need to make that choice for yourself. And that tutorial below will absolutely get you started and give you those guidelines and that framework for you to make an intelligent decision to move forward. Okay, so don't put this off. Don't think, whatever, I'll think about this later. Seriously, if you have any doubts in your head right now about, is the music I'm making actually going to get me placements, watch that video and really make a choice. And maybe you need to course correct sooner than later, because you definitely don't want to be in this position that this producer was in. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this was useful for you.